everyone, my name is Holly Stoneberg, and I'm the Education Program Coordinator for Portage Park District. And I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about our program guide. So, you may have received the summer one. Now we're putting out a new edition for September through December. So, it has lots of good park information, but it also has all of our program dates for September through December. And the most exciting thing is that it is in the mail. So keep an eye on that mailbox because you'll have your own copy soon. If you don't live in Portage County, then you can find one at park events or you can stop into the office to get your own copy. So I'm going to pause here for a second, just in case you don't already receive our newsletter. This is an email that goes out on the first Thursday of every month. You can either go to the website where you signed up for this webinar, or you can scan that QR code, which will take you directly to the link where you sign up. While you're doing that, I'm going to give you a little background information. So the mission of the Portage Park District is to conserve Portage County's natural heritage and provide opportunities for its appreciation and enjoyment. The Portage Park District manages over 2,700 acres with 6 open parks and 3 multi-purpose trails. Our funding comes from a 10-year half-mil levy passed in 2014, but also through multiple grants, as well as the support of our Portage Park District Foundation. So hopefully I paused long enough to give you time to sign up, but that's really a great thing to have when it comes in your inbox the first Thursday of every month. Then you're getting all the up-to-date park information, and then you'll know exactly what programs are up for you to register for. So I'm not going to go through every page in here. I'm just going to talk briefly about the pages of note. So the first one is about your Portage Park districts. Again, I give you a very brief introduction, but this gives you more of a background. It has the pictures of our board there. They're wonderful people that help us out. And then there's information about the parks if you read below. Another page you might want to check out is the why parks. I know all of us have our own reasons why we love and enjoy Portage Park District and love being in nature, but we were able to compile a couple of quotes and put them in here, but I'm sure you guys can add your own. And if you feel up to it, please feel free to email me your answer to why parks. I would love to read them. The other page I'd like to point out is the projects and plans. So we have a lot of cool things coming up on the horizon. We have the Headwaters Trail, new phases for that, some additions to Towders Woods and the Portage Hike and Bike Trail, and then Camp Bog Expansion Park. Thank you to those of you who were with us on Saturday. We were able to take a couple great hikes out there to see all the things that are that could potentially be going on when it changes from a preserve to a park. And another page that I'd really like you to look out, it's just this great place to go for basic information. So if you have a free day and you go, okay, where can I go to ride my bike? Or where can I go to fish? Which parks have restrooms? Because that's an important question, right? You can find this in this really easy chart up here at the top. And then it has some more information that we'll go through in turn. The first one I want to point out is the Wild Hikes Challenge. Thank you to all of you who have done it so far. There are people who are already done with this, but this is our own hike challenge that you have the whole year to complete. So you can use this QR code that'll take you directly to the Wild Hikes form. You could download it and print it. If you don't want to do that, you can pick one off in our office or fill it out virtually. You choose 8 trails to hike. You can pick any ones you want. I know coming up in this fall program guide, we do have some double credit hikes, and yeah, you can pick any 8 that you want. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is that you can also pick an education program. So if you do 7 trails and then one of our education programs, then that counts too. But as long as you turn it in before the end of the year, you're going to get your rewards, right? So if it's your first year, you're going to get a hiking staff, which is exciting. And then every year we come out with a new medallion to add to it. So this year is probably one of my favorites. We have the wood frogs. It's this cute little frog on your medallion, and you get new ones each year. And what's fun is that now you can, if you have a dog that hikes with you, your dog can earn a bandana as well. So just include that on your paperwork, take it to the office, and then Eric will help you out with getting your rewards. Some other exciting things going on in the park is that Dix Park has had a lot of new improvements over the last couple years, one of which is the nature play space. I know a lot of kids these days have access to technology, but that was not the case for most of us growing up. So this picture right here on your left looks like our childhood, right? You have this open space where you can use your imagination and build cooperation skills and be creative out in nature using natural tools. So you see, there's people here hopping on logs and making things out of rocks. You can see maybe some twigs in the background where you can build a fort. So it's a great place to go unplug and just use your imagination and work together to build something cool. And another thing we have going on is the Storybook Trail, which is a partnership with Reed Memorial Library. So they do a great job of coming out uh, seasonally and changing the story as they go through. So there's 20 posts there, and as you walk through, each one has different pages on it, and you can read a story. So it's a nice little walk and read experience. So I encourage you to check that out as well. We also have reservable shelters. So you might recognize the one on the left that is from Towner's Woods, but the one that's newer is the one on the right, and that is at Dix Park, right beyond the Storybook Trail and the nature play area. So these are both reservable for free as long as you contact Eric in our admin office. There's also some picnic tables that are reservable at Trail Lake Park, which gives you a beautiful view over the lake. And my favorite part is the programming, right? So we offer free programming all year long for nature nuts of all ages. And we've done this cool thing in our program guide to give you a little key. So not everything has a key, but this gives you something to look for if you have a specific interest. So Park RX is more health-based programs. So cardio hikes or hike with an expert, things that are related to health. Albert's Adventures are for the little ones. So these are for 3 to 7-year-olds. Becca does a great job working with the younger ones. They usually either read a story or go on a hike or do an activity. And then there's a craft usually involved. So that's really fun for the younger kids. Birding Club is something new that we've tried this year. So we go out once a month and just practice our skills. So I know birding can be a little intimidating for new people, but I feel like this is a great way to kind of get your feet wet and see if you're interested. You don't even have to own binoculars because we have park ones to spare. So come borrow a pair of our binoculars and try your hand at birding. Our webinars, much like the one we're doing right now, is these are based on different topics. We usually do them once a month, but this is just another way for you to have access to your Portage Park District. So I know sometimes we might be feeling a little under the weather, or we don't have the energy to go for a full hike, but we can still feel connected with nature by tuning into a webinar to learn about something nature-based. And then one we have a new symbol we have from the summer mailer is our Preserve Peaks, even though Preserve Peaks aren't new. We've been doing these since 2019, and they're a lot of fun. So preserves are properties that are not open to the public yet because of funding and the time it takes to pull them together and make them look presentable and develop them. But we do offer these preserve peaks, which are behind the scenes guided tours for people to go look at the preserves before they do become parks. And we'd love to see more people on those to give us some feedback of what you'd like to see. So maybe you might have a preserve right in your area. So come along on one of these hikes and give us your feedback of what you'd like to see there. Okay, going through some of those that we just mentioned, for Park RX, we do things like Zumba and hike with an expert. We have a hike with an expert where we're going to have a dietitian walk with us, and you can ask all your questions there, and he'll give tips on healthy eating. We do happy heart hikes where we go at a little bit faster pace than what we normally would for a nature hike. And then something new we're trying this year is introduction to orienteering. So orienteering is when you go out with a map and a compass and you look for different checkpoints around the park. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to because it's something I've personally never tried before. So I hope you come out and give it a try as well. And then we do have another UH hike with an expert. Again, these are partnerships with university hospitals. And this one in November is specifically for women's health. So I hope some of those spark your interests. Our Albert's Adventures, again, Becca does a great job with these. We have Story with the Stuffy, Chlorophyll curiosity, right? When all those leaves are changing. Totally turkey, right? Getting ready for Thanksgiving. We have all, all these turkeys that are around, and they're really great creatures. And then our winter adaptations, because as it starts to get colder, we know those organisms are going to prep for winter in a lot of different ways. So she's going to go over those with you. Our birding club, these two that don't have any notes next to them, those are just regular birding clubs where we go out for an hour and try to look and identify birds. But we do have a couple special things coming up, right? We're going on a bird migration hike to look for migrating waterfowl. Spiders, Owls, and Bats is going to be a partnership with OSU with 3 special guest speakers to talk about these individual organisms. We do have 2 webinars, What a Crow Knows and Snowy Owls, because we love birds here at Portage Park District, so we try to talk about them as much as possible. And then the backyard bird feeders is going to be a little craft, right? We're going to learn about the birds that are going to visit us throughout the winter, and then we'll build a little feeder for them as well. We've already talked about 2 of these webinars. One of them is what we're doing right now, and then we're going to talk about squirrels as well, because I feel like they don't get enough attention. And then our preserve peaks that are coming up, I'd love to see new faces on these so we can get more ideas on what to do with these parks. But Eagle Creek Greenway, Franklin Bog, Portage Meadows, Breakneck Creek, and Bird Family Bog. Make sure you register for these, because when you register, we'll send you the email so you know exactly how to get where you're going. And these have limited availability, right? A lot of our preserves don't have regular parking lots, so we need to limit registration because we don't have a lot of parking spaces. So make sure you get on there and register so that your spot is reserved. One thing that I didn't mention that doesn't have its own symbol, but is very near and dear to our hearts are our senior hikes. So we go every other Thursday at noon. We let the group set the pace. We go out for half an hour and then we come back. But we've formed this really great group that likes to walk together, and everyone is welcome. We love to see new faces, but it's just a good time to walk with friends, get some exercise, and enjoy the outdoors. So we hope to see you on one of these as well. So those were the big groups of um, activities that go on, but some other things that we're looking forward to are Bee Bonanza. One of our volunteers, Bob Heath, is this local bee expert, so he goes out and helps us catch and identify bees. So if you've never held a bee in your hand, some of them really are safe, so come out and learn from him so you know which ones you can hold. That's tomorrow, so make sure you register for that, and we hope to see you tomorrow. National Cleanup Day also coming up this week. We're taking volunteers from all over the county to help us clean up, because National Cleanup Day is Saturday, but we're trying to get ahead of it. So we'd love to see a huge group come out to help us kind of spruce up the parks. We are starting history hikes this season, and we're going to go over the different history of different parks. We're going to start with Towner's Woods right there in Kent, because it has a really rich history. It was a park before we were a park district, so there's lots to talk about there. And another thing to point out for September is green cleaning and septic scaping. This is a partnership with Portage County Soil and Water Conservation District. For this one, the only difference is that you'll have to register through their website, so make sure you look out for that. Yeah, let's move on to October. So Emmett Roberts is our natural area specialist, and he is a mushroom guru. So he's going to take us on a guided hike through Morgan Park. This is going to be a little bit longer of a hike, but it will totally be worth it. As we go to the back into the forested part, we're going to see lots of cool stuff, and he'll walk us through how to identify them and how to use field guides. Another thing we're excited for is Rocktober Museum. So we all are mini geology buffs, and we're bringing in real geologists, and we're going to have rock collections and educational posters for people to come through. And if you have a rock that you'd like to identify or a mineral, please feel free to bring it. So that should be a fun weekend as well. The River Health Workshop is a partnership with Akron Hydro Watch. So this is a citizen science opportunity where you can come out and read a gauge to help us measure the water depth, and they'll be out giving demonstrations on water flow as well as macroinvertebrates. So it's a good opportunity to get in the water as well if you're interested. In 1014, we're having the Fall Festival with the Autism Society of Greater Akron. So this is for all families. We're going to have vendors and educational tables set up around Trail Lake Park in a nice family-friendly fall theme. So I'm excited to see you at that as well. Towards the end of the month, we have Batty About Bats. So one of our volunteers is really focused on bat citizen science, and he's going to be showing us some of the data he's collected, but also tell us about the bats that we have here in Ohio. And also, we're doing another history hike down at Headwaters Trail, and we're probably going to start that one in Garrettsville. In November, we're going to do Animals Ohio. So we have a couple new pieces of taxidermy and a couple that we're going to borrow from the Division of Wildlife to talk about all the cool animals in Ohio, or maybe not all, but a few big ones. Then on the 14th, we have another volunteer who is really great with astronomy, and he has this very cool program that he's going to lead us through and take us on a tour of the night sky. Because in November, sometimes it can be really chilly to go outside and look at the sky, but he's going to show us how to do it virtually and then show us how you can continue that information and do it at home. Another history hike at Trail Lake Park. And then on the 18th, we're going to have a prep for winter tree ID. So, you know, once those leaves fall, it's very hard for even us naturalists to identify the trees. So we're going to try to prepare before we go into winter, how to look for those trees. And finally, December, another history hike at Portage Hike and Bike. We're going to partner with the Portage County Historical Society and Reed Memorial Library for this one. And we'll have a biomimicry night. Biomimicry is one of my favorite science topics. It's so fascinating. So we're going to be talking about examples there. And then I know it's a little iffy when you talk about snow in December. We'll either get a bunch or none. So we are going to take a snowflake walk on the Portage Hike and Bike Trail in Manaway. And then even if there's not snow, we'll be able to talk about the Esker Trail and glaciers while we're there. So that is a rundown of some of the programs, right? That doesn't even include all of the programs that are on there, and there's going to be more to come. But I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what is going to be happening. But please, please, please don't forget to register. Registration is important when we have registration limits due to parking restraints, but it's also important for us, especially with the colder months coming up, so that we know exactly who's planning to come. In case there is a change to the program or a cancellation, we have everybody's contact information so we can tell them that there is going to be a change. So we do really appreciate when you register. Another thing that's in the program guide is our survey. So you can do it right in the mailer, take that page out, and then send it back to the office, or you can do it virtually as well. There is a QR code included on that page when you look at it. But we love to have your feedback of how we can continue to make a good thing grow, right? This is a wonderful park district, and we love to have your input. And that's it. That was short but sweet. Again, my name is Holly Stoneberg. I put my email there. If you have any questions about any of the programs coming up, please do not hesitate to contact me. And thank you for hanging out today.